Now, this week has had a lot of drama going on, from the PFA to Eberechi Eze Saga, and then to whatever you're looking forward to in this match week that is coming up. I hope that you stick around for the rest of the video to catch everything that I'm going to put out here. Hi, my name is Collins Balozi and this is the Touchline Take. And this week, there has been a few things going on. Let's begin from the PFA Awards, whereby the best players from the Premier League season have been awarded by the Professional Football Association. And this has been an award that has caught an eye because there is newcomers into the PFA Team of the Year from last season. And that shows a bit more of competition that is going on around the Premier League. And okay, now the team looks like this, yeah. Matt Sells in goal from Nottingham Forest. This is his first time being nominated and being part of the Premier League Team of the Year. Then the backline consisted of Milos Kerkesh, Virgil van Dijk, Gabriel Magalhaes, and William Saliba. And for the latter, you couldn't really dispute if there is a better defensive partnership in the Premier League than there are the Arsenal backline. In the midfield, it was Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, and Declan Rice. Then up front, it was Mohamed Salah, Chris Wood, who is also getting in there for the first time, and Alexander Isak. So we'll talk about Isak later on in the video. I think there's a lot of drama surrounding him that we've talked about also in the past videos. So yeah, we'll stick around to see where we'll go with that one. So it was a special mention for Mohamed Salah because this was his third time winning the PFA Player of the Year, and this is the first time anyone in the Premier League has done that. And while winning this, it shows how much of an icon Mohamed Salah really is for the Premier League as much as for his team, and the level of respect that he gets from his fellow colleagues shows that he's a brilliant footballer and someone who leads from the front, a top professional, a player anyone would want to have in their team because of how much work he puts in the trade that he does. So with that being said, now the Eberechi Eze story. From July, we always knew that Eberechi Eze would leave Palace at some point, until when the Community Shield came around and he was still in the team, and we were wondering if Palace are going to make any sales to begin with, because in the beginning he was linked with joining Arsenal. Then the line ran cold, but anyway, his destination seemed to have been set to North London. A few weeks prior, we've seen Tottenham go hard for him. Like, they really wanted to replace the Madison type of player with a player who plays with the same kind of qualities. And they did offer a £55 million deal to Crystal Palace with 5 million plus in add-ons. That would bring the total up to 60 million. So over the past week, Arsenal decided to match that and gave an even sweeter deal considering the add-ons, which were far easier for Eze and their camp to get to, which would make Palace take the deal quicker because it's the money that they need at the end of the day. So yeah, it's a saga that is now complete, according to Fabrizio Romano, that Eberechi Eze is headed to only one color in North London, which is not white, the red side. So yeah, that it took a twist quite late on, but it is what it is now. Eberechi Eze is going to be an Arsenal player in no time. I think maybe even at the time of recording, they might have gone to do their medical tests together with his camp, and yeah, let's see where this is going to head towards now with him joining Arsenal. Let's see if there's going to be a change in system, a change in style, something extra that Arteta could use to hurt their opponents. But it's too early to start calling out things. Yeah, Eberechi Eze will be an Arsenal player, so let's leave it at that. Now, moving forward quickly, match day 2 is here with us. today, Chelsea travelled to the other side of London to face West Ham United, a team that has had a torrid start to the season, and we're expecting more of the same because I think Chelsea would be a too far greater opponent for them than Sunderland was, and we expect Chelsea to go there and pick their first 3 points on the season. However, there have been periods in the past that West Ham has caused Chelsea a lot of trouble. We hope that today would not be the day because Chelsea maybe should start getting into the rhythm quite quickly because there is no much time in the Premier League and they surely know that. So this should be 3 points for Chelsea tonight. We'll be watching that one. Let's see how the game will unfold. Then early on tomorrow, there's an early kickoff of a big one. Manchester City up against Tottenham Hotspurs. It's been a fixture that has had a lot of hit and misses, smash and grabs here and there, where Spurs has come and surprised City at the Etihad more times than not. And Pep Guardiola has been wary of the side, especially under Conte, under Poch. So he's expecting another different set of challenge from Thomas Frank's setup because now there's more new personnel, a lot of new things to look out for. There's more inspired players, maybe not the same as the past 1 or 2 years, but now with the additions of people like Mohamed Kudus who really work hard for the team, we are expecting that there's going to be, a tough match, an end-to-end match for both sides. I think also Richarlison might be in an inspired mood, especially after scoring those 2 golazos against Burnley last week. I think that would give him confidence in front of goal to be able to continue racking up goals. And now perfect runs are going to start being, cut down. If you've had a clean sheet last match week, you might concede this week, then now things start changing. The tire starts meeting the road now in the Prem. So looking forward to this match. It's been a match that Pep Guardiola's side has dreaded, playing against Spurs, Manchester United, Liverpool. These are teams that have caused him more problems than he would have wanted. But it also shows that there is a lot of top opponents in the Premier League that you don't really get to just move your way around matches and still win. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that will unfold, but I'm expecting ultimately Manchester City to win the match because they're the superior opponent in this setup. As much as Tottenham Hotspur has added a lot of inspiration around the team, there is also a little bit more time that is needed for these teams to gel together, these players to gel together, to be able to understand each other even more better, to work more for each other so that they achieve their desired goal. But Thomas Frank is a brilliant tactician who knows what he's doing. So yeah, he's going to go to that match, not maybe with the same setup we'd have used while at Brentford, because they'll be playing catch-up then. Now he has a real chance to go ahead and win the match because of the quality of the players that he has. So he's going to make a real intent to go and win the match. So that will make the game even more interesting. So later on tomorrow, Arsenal will be welcoming Leeds United at the Emirates. Leeds have a perfect start as it stands. They won against Everton at Elland Road on Monday. So they'll be looking to try and consolidate whatever there is. It's that period of the season where you try and get whatever you can from a match. If you can escape a loss, especially for the teams that have come up, that is a brilliant addition to your points tally because it gives you a chance to be in and around the mid-table to try and compete, try and stay within safety more than the danger zone for the most part of the season. So they'll be going into this match knowing that if they really do their best, that they could cause Arsenal problems. but Arsenal really have the firepower, enough firepower to dispense leads at will. So yeah, looking forward to that one as well. But I think Arsenal has everything that it takes to go ahead and win the match. Another game that will be going on will be Burnley up against Sunderland. Now, the two teams that have come up from the Championship, they'll be testing each other to see who has made the most kind of progress since the last time they met each other in the Championship. And I think it's also going to be a good match to see where one team that is from the Championship matches up against the other now that they are in the big leagues, to see who wants it more, who wants to cement their position in the Premier League more than the other. It always starts from early on. If you don't win these kinds of matches, then there is not really many matches that you're going to go into as favorites. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that one. But I think the win that Sunderland got over West Ham last game week is going to give them a lot of confidence going into this one as well. And they'll be looking forward to getting the 3 points against Burnley away from home. But I think they'll have what it takes to do it. But Burnley are also a very good side, a very competent side, which would also pose a different kind of threat for Sunderland. So I think it's going to be evenly matched, but Sunderland just because of, when you win in the Premier League, it gives you even more positive vibes around the training ground during the week. Everyone wants to go ahead and win again because you've won against, on paper, a bigger opponent. So if you're facing someone who you think you can dispense, then you have to go there believing that you can win the match. Yeah. So yeah, I think Sunderland will just win the match. Then on Sunday, Manchester United will be traveling to Fulham to play Fulham. Fulham who had a 1-1 draw with Brighton last week. They'll be looking to get their first 3 points on the board, of course. And Fulham are always, a tough opponent to play against, no matter which side is coming to Craven Cottage. But I think this is where now we start to see, we actually see if the display that Manchester United put up against Arsenal is going to be one that is going to be a recurring theme, a consistent theme, whereby they try to create more chances and try to take them as well. So going into this one, I'm not really sure if Fulham would be the ones who would vote for or root for to go and win the match. But I also want to see how Manchester United are going to play this match, knowing fully well that on paper they should be a better opponent against Fulham than that Fulham should be, on the receiving end of the impetus that they bring to them. So let's see if now Manchester United will start slacking as they usually have against the mid teams, and then they play really brilliant against the top teams. If this is the kind of recurring theme that is going to be carried into this match, then we can gladly say that maybe Spurs will do better than Manchester United, because it has always been a thing whereby Manchester United will play a match of their season against the traditional big six teams, and then go into matches against the mid-table teams, the teams which really try to survive in the Premier League, and they'd go there and lose points more often than not. So if this is the team that is going to carry into this match, that Fulham goes ahead and wins it despite the show that Manchester United put in that match, if they can't try and replicate that here, then they would really have no chance of winning that one as well. So looking forward to seeing a good match between these two sides. But yeah, this one is a really tough one to call, because both teams are hot and cold. You can't really tell if they are on the upward trajectory or they are, up and down. So just looking forward to seeing a really good match between these two sides. Last week, Fulham grabbed it late. They got an equalizer quite late in the match. So I really think that they're also struggling in a way or another. But again, Brighton is also a very tough opponent to play against, no matter which side is going against them. So looking forward to seeing that one on Sunday as well. But the real one that I have been keeping out of the conversation for a minute is the one that is going to be on Monday, the Monday night football fixture, which is Newcastle up against Liverpool. I think with the Isak saga going around the Premier League, first of all, I said that in the beginning of the video, I said that I'll talk about Isak later on in the video. He did not go to the PFA Awards party because he felt that it was not right for him to go there at that period. So he did send a message, and this is the first time he's come out to speak in public after everything that has been going on around Newcastle and him. He's been ousted, he's been training at Real Sociedad sometimes. There was a time that the rest of the team, before the Premier League began, the rest of the team came together with their families. It's a tradition at Newcastle whereby people come together with their families and enjoy being around each other, and he was told to not come. So in his statement, he said that there were agreements, there were promises that were made for him when the season progressed or before even the season began, that his future would be settled in a certain kind of way. But it seems like the club has not decided to favor the kind of gentleman's agreement they had. So it really looks like they are trying to control how they want him to. They are controlling his future, and this is the first time he's come out in public to say something about it, which also tells you that he's aggrieved with how Newcastle is handling this situation. And he really wants to go to Liverpool Football Club, and Liverpool Football Club has also made bids to Newcastle. But I really think that the absence of a release clause in his contract has made Newcastle, the people who have the power to make the deal for him, essentially controlling how he's going to move around, to how they're going to transfer, how they're going to structure the way they get even more profit from his transfer, which is also something that he shouldn't have done to begin with. So I don't know whatever is going on between him and his agent, but they got that wrong. So when he came out with that statement, it's the first time now we knew for sure that he was expecting to move quite early on in this window, but he hasn't. So that means that Newcastle are holding out, and they also don't have much time to go out and find another striker because the transfer window is going to close in essentially 9 days, maybe at the time of recording. So in the next 9 days, if there is not someone they have scouted already, they'll be in big trouble having to play without a centre forward. So it's going to be a tough one for Newcastle to take if they actually decide to let him go to Liverpool, because that match on Monday night at St. James's Park should happen when Newcastle have already settled their issues with Isak. Because if they do not, then the player remains to be in a very tough bind and is the one that is going to suffer the most, because again, Newcastle can decide to frustrate him as much as they want because he's not agreeing to the terms that they're putting out for him. And no one is bigger than the club, so the club can decide to do him dirty, so to speak. So we expect that this deal between Isak, the saga that has surrounded him throughout the season, throughout the transfer window, has to be resolved by Monday. If it's not, then he's the one who's going to suffer the most, because it is a mutual relationship mutual agreement between him and the club that he joins Liverpool. They want him as much as he wants them. They see that they could do more with him in the team than without him. As much as they went for Ugo Ekitike early on in the summer, they also think that having him in there would add a lot of attacking firepower that they need to, to have a chance to even compete further for this season's Premier League. So the sooner that deal is handled, the better for him. Not necessarily that these two clubs are going to suffer immensely because he does not play for either, but it's going to be really tough for him now to find a club, especially if Newcastle decide to go with the highway and not listen to him. This is something that happened to Harry Kane a few years back when he wanted to leave Tottenham. He was not winning trophies at Tottenham and he wanted out at some time in his career, but he had signed a 5-year contract prior to that, so, and with no release clause. So clubs would come and bid, but even if they did, Tottenham would value him higher than what the clubs bid. So it was a push and pull from Tottenham and other clubs like Manchester United, Manchester City at the time, especially after the departure of Aguero. They wanted to replace Aguero with Harry Kane, who is very prolific. But now Spurs did get to an agreement that they should not sell him to their Premier League's direct competitors. So that was Manchester United and Manchester City also included. And that really made that deal sour for him, because if he had stayed longer in the Premier League, he would have broken the league's top scorer record, maybe gone to a club which would have eventually won the Premier League. And that was Manchester City at that time, I think. So the Tottenham got what they wanted, but not necessarily for Harry Kane. So this might also be the thing that happens to Alexander Isak if this thing is not resolved like fairly and swiftly. So we'll be watching that one as well. The transfer window, as long as it's getting to an end, there's always drama. There's always, quick switches. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that one pans out as well. But generally, the Premier League would remain to be the way it is with the amount of transfers that have gone on already. Teams don't like adding players towards when there's few matches into the season, so it's even more difficult to integrate them to the way they want to play. So with that being said, we'll be looking forward to seeing those matches from tonight till Monday. See you on Tuesday as we do the Matchweek 2 review, and if there's anything new that would have occurred, any drama, any upsets, any talking points, we'll be there. So hoping to see you in the next one. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel a lot. And that's it from me today, guys. Thank you. Peace.